Hello everyone, welcome to the 17-Mile Story Collection. Today we'll dive into the Immortal Cultivation Diary of the Young Zhao Sr. Zhao Sen was fed up. Do I really need to push things even further? Let's see how far these so-called elders can be pushed. From that day on, his reputation in the chores division hit rock bottom. Other disciples gave him a new nickname behind his back, Blackheart Zhao. A title far nastier than Weasel, which they once gave to Lu. But Zhao Sen didn't care. He had been grinding in his dream world for a whole year, and his spiritual energy had multiplied several times over. The first stage of chi condensation was already maxed out, so he decided to push for the second stage. He failed again and again. Until one night, he finally broke through. At that moment, dark greasy filth poured out of his pores. After washing up, he looked into the water, his eyes sharp as lightning. His entire aura had changed. Yet a problem remained. He only had the techniques up to the third stage. If he asked Niu Daju for the higher ones, the man would realize his sudden breakthrough and start asking questions. Questions that could bring big trouble. Frowning, unable to find a solution, Zhao Sen poured his focus into his other skill, gravity arts. In the beginning, he could barely succeed once or twice out of 10 tries. Now, 9 out of 10. He even dragged a giant boulder to train with every day. Time flew. Another month passed. His antics in the chores division had everyone grumbling, but soon nobody cared anymore. Why? Because year-end was coming. The intersect competition was about to begin. And more importantly, once every 10 years, the great trial for registered disciples. The top 3 could directly become servant disciples of the intersect. Everyone was secretly preparing, sharpening their blades. Who had time to worry about chores? Zhao Sen felt a little disappointed, but he wasn't interested in joining. To him, training in the dream realm was far more valuable. Then one day, snow sealed off the entire Penglai Pavilion. Thick, heavy snowflakes blanketed the mountains, turning everything into a sea of white. Zhao Sen stood alone in the courtyard, not cultivating, just standing still. His gravity arts moved with his mind. And then, like an invisible hand stirring the air, the falling snowflakes split and swirled around him. Not a single one touched his body. It was a breathtaking sight. Snow was falling heavily, covering the courtyard in silence. Zhao Sen lifted his gaze, staring toward the distant village he once called home. In winters past, his parents would light a warm fire. His father sat nearby carving wood, while his mother busied herself with jars of pickled vegetables. And he would be by the fire reading. When reading grew tiresome, he'd sit beside his father, watching the blades slice through wood, sometimes even lending a hand. Those moments of family warmth were etched deep in his memory. He even remembered the wooden tops hidden under his bed. On cold days, he'd take them out to spin on the frozen ground, laughing with childhood friends. A deep breath escaped him. Cultivators were supposed to sever worldly attachments. But he knew he couldn't. Instead, he buried them deep within his heart. Just then, his expression shifted. Since breaking through to the second stage of chi condensation, his divine sense had awakened. And now, it told him someone was approaching. Moments later, the courtyard gate creaked open. Zhao Cheng stepped in, bundled in fur, and wearing a thick hat. He blinked in surprise. "Gooden bro, aren't you cold? Dressed so thin and still standing outside." Zhao Sen chuckled. "I calculated you'd come, so I came out to meet you." In truth, he really didn't feel the cold. His body was far tougher since reaching the second stage. Zhao Cheng laughed, took off his hat, and gave him a careful look. Then he frowned slightly. "Gooden bro, you look different. Not like a few months ago." Zhao Sen smirked, teasing, "Of course. I'm already at the second stage of chi condensation. Basically, a cultivator now." Zhao Cheng rolled his eyes. "Yeah, right. Don't brag. I've been taking spirit-seizing pills and still can't break through stage 1. You? No way." Zhao Sen didn't argue. He knew too well. Sometimes the truth was the least believable thing of all. "Anyway," Zhao Sen said casually, pouring him a cup of hot water, "how come you've got time to visit me today? Isn't the pill hall busy?" Zhao Cheng took the cup, sipped and grinned. "You haven't been collecting your rations from the pill hall for months. I kept them for you. Today, I came to deliver them." He pulled out a small bundle from his coat and set it on the table. Zhao Sen only smiled faintly, not even glancing at it. He knew. Zhao Cheng didn't come all this way just to hand over supplies. Zhao Cheng flushed under Zhao Sen's gaze, then suddenly blurted out. "Good bro. I heard you've been living pretty comfortably in the chores division these past months." Zhao Sen sipped his water calmly. "Just say it straight. If I can help, I will." Zhao Cheng hesitated, then leaned in, lowering his voice like it was some great secret. "You're a smart man. I know you've got a stash of visiting talismans. Can you lend me some?" Zhao Sen's expression didn't change. "How many?" "At least 200. "What? 200? Zhao Sen was stunned. He could spare it. He'd collected nearly 500 in bribes these past months, but what on earth did Zhao Cheng need that many for? Zhao Cheng sighed, looking bitter. "The intersect competition is only 2 months away. I can enter, sure, but I'll never win. Still, I can't stand it. That guy Zhao Bu is already at the peak of the first stage, and I heard he's breaking into the second." Zhao Sen's eyes widened. He hadn't seen Zhao Bu in a while, didn't expect him to advance so fast. Truly, talent mattered. Grinding his teeth, Zhao Cheng spat. "And it's all because of his master. The old man spent a fortune and begged a whole furnace of creation pills for my family's lord. With that, his cultivation skyrocketed." Zhao Sen frowned. "But what's that got to do with borrowing talismans?" Zhao Cheng's eyes gleamed as he whispered. "You really don't know. Before every annual tournament, the inner disciples hold a secret exchange. They bring out treasures, swords, artifacts, pills, and trade to prepare for the battles ahead." Those words struck Zhao Sen's heart. Flying swords and artifacts meant little to him. But if there was a chance to trade for higher stage techniques, he couldn't ignore it. "But inner disciples don't trust each other, do they?" he asked. Zhao Cheng sneered. "Exactly. That's why there's a rule. To even enter the trade fair, you need a shape-shifting voice pill. Once you take it, unless someone's at foundation stage, they can't see through your disguise. That's your ticket in." Zhao Sen's eyes narrowed. "So you're borrowing talismans just to buy that pill?" Zhao Cheng froze, then nodded. "Good bro, you're sharp. Yes, that's it. My family's lord sells them off each year. Clear price, 200 talismans a pill." Zhao Sen thought for a while, then smiled faintly. "Interesting. I want to see this trade fair for myself." Zhao Cheng's eyes lit up. "Perfect. As long as you've got the pill, you can go. I'm aiming for a creation pill this time. Rumor has it someone's selling one." Then Zhao Sen flicked his wrist. Four neat bundles of talismans, 100 each, landed on the table with a thud. Zhao Cheng's eyes nearly popped out. He grabbed them, stuffed them into his bag, and grinned from ear to ear. "Good bro, perfect. Half a month from now, I'll come get you, we'll go together." Zhao Sen nodded, chatting idly, until Zhao Cheng finally left. But once the courtyard was silent again, Zhao Sen's heart was anything but calm. After his guest left, Zhao Sen sat there deep in thought. This upcoming trading event, he had to go. If there really was a chance to trade for techniques beyond the qi refining stage, it could change his entire future. But here's the catch, he had nothing valuable left. His spirit tokens? Already spent on pills. After some thought, he decided, I'll use spirit spring water. That should tempt anyone. Still, a worry nagged at him. Over the past month of cultivation, he'd noticed something disturbing. The water's effect was getting weaker. Sure, he could make up for it with quantity, but what if one day it stopped working entirely? That thought haunted him. So while practicing his gravity technique on a massive boulder, he started planning for alternatives. He'd practiced this spell tens of thousands of times in his dream realm, until he could casually pull small objects straight into his hand with a single gesture. And now that his chi was stronger, the technique's power was really starting to show. By the time he stopped, the sky outside was dark and snow was still falling thick. He stood at the doorway, watching the flakes swirl down, when suddenly an idea hit him. If dew is too rare and spring water is weakening, why not try snow water? He wasted no time. With a flick of his hands, the snow covering the yard rose into the air, twisting like a white dragon before pouring into a giant jar. Then he bit down, formed another seal, and summoned a blazing fireball. Heat burst out, melting the snow into water, almost instantly. He tossed the mysterious pearl into the jar, weighted half a stick of incense, then scooped up a sip. The moment it entered his body, he focused, sensing carefully. And then his eyes snapped open, a smile spreading across his face. This spirit snow water was stronger than spring water. Not as good as dew, sure, but perfectly usable. From that day he worked tirelessly, melting snow and filling gourd after gourd with the precious liquid. By the time he was done, he had hundreds of gourds full, enough to keep his cultivation in the dream realm going for a long, long time. 10 days flew by. During that time, Zhao Sen drank far more spirit spring water than ever before. Luckily, once inside his body, the liquid instantly broke down into pure qi, otherwise, no way his stomach could have held so much. The qi refining second stage demanded several times more energy than the first. By now, he'd been cultivating in the dream realm for over 9 months. If he were still at the first stage, he would have made real progress. But even with his qi reserve swelling, it still didn't feel like enough. Then came the day of his appointment with Zhao Cheng. That night, as snow fell hard again, Zhao Sen sensed his approach. Moments later, Zhao Cheng rushed in, whispering anxiously. "My master was delayed with alchemy. I barely slipped away. Let's go, the trading meet is starting." Without waiting, he hurried out, and Zhao Sen followed. They trudged through snow, leaving the sect grounds, and down a narrow mountain path. The road was slick, and Zhao Cheng moved cautiously, muttering through chattering teeth. "Damn this weather. If I slip and fall into a ravine, I'll haunt someone for payback." But Zhao Sen's body felt light and strong. For him, the storm wasn't a problem at all. In fact, he welcomed it. More snow meant more snow water to collect later. After a while, Zhao Cheng stopped, pulled out a green pill, and whispered, "We're close. I scouted this place earlier. Just a few more turns. But first, take this. No one must know who we are." He swallowed the pill, and instantly a thick black mist poured from his body, cloaking him completely. From within came a hoarse voice. "Well, can you still tell it's me?" Zhao Sen probed with his divine sense, but couldn't pierce the murk. Relieved, he smiled, popped his own pill, and was soon wrapped in the same dark haze. 2 shadowy figures continued down the trail. After several turns, they reached a wide clearing. There, dozens of other black silhouettes already stood waiting, silent, motionless. The whole place buzzed with tense mystery. Zhao Sen and Zhao Cheng found a spot at the edge and stood still. Before long, one figure stepped forward, cleared his throat, and rasped, "Time's up. As usual, I'll host. Rules stay the same. I'll start." He held up a silver sword and announced, "This flying sword isn't from the sect armory. I acquired it by chance. Its power is decent. My price, 500 spirit tokens." Whispers spread through the crowd. Then one person finally strode forward, produced the tokens, and sealed the deal. Next, another voice rang out. "I have a lower-grade jade talisman. It can unleash 3 strikes of a fissure-like spell. My price, 10 spirit seizing pills." The talisman flashed in his hand before vanishing again. "I'll take it," someone near Zhao Sen shouted, but before he could move, another bidder cut in quickly. "I'll offer 12 pills." The first man froze, glaring fiercely, but held his tongue. 10 had been his limit. Before long, the whole trading ground grew more and more chaotic. One by one, people stepped up, showing off the treasures they had brought. Sometimes 2 or 3 people even fought over the same item. Of course, in the end, the highest bidder took it home. Then a hesitant voice broke through the noise. I've got a spell here. As long as you're at the 2nd level of qi condensation, you can learn it. It lets you hide your cultivation for a short time. Unless someone in the Foundation Establishment realm inspects you, they won't notice your true level. I know. It's kinda useless, a bit of a chicken rib. But I'll trade it for 10. No, 5 spirit-devouring pills. The crowd erupted into laughter. Who the hell wants that trash? Inside the sect, the higher your cultivation, the better your treatment. Who'd waste time hiding it? And 5 spirit-devouring pills? What a joke. Seeing no one was interested, the man sighed and was about to put it away. But right then, Zhao Sen stepped forward, his voice low and steady. "I'll take it. 5 spirit-devouring pills." The seller froze, then burst into joy, rushing to complete the trade. Holding the jade slip, Zhao Sen swept it with his divine sense, and instantly the cultivation method poured into his mind. To others, this spell was worthless. But to him it was priceless. Even if it only hid his cultivation for a short time. It was exactly what he needed. Just then, another shadowy figure stepped forward. His voice was raspy, but carried a hint of arrogance. "One creation pill. Whoever wants it, make your offers." The whole crowd exploded. 20 spirit-devouring pills. Zhao Cheng shouted first. 1,000 talismans and a flying sword. 2,000 talismans. 30 spirit-devouring pills and 500 talismans. 1 lower-grade jade talisman, 1 flying sword, 10 spirit-devouring pills, and 500 talismans. The bids flew one after another, louder and fiercer each time. Because this creation pill was the dream of every inner disciple. Zhao Sen remembered what Zhao Cheng had told him before. Once swallowed, its effects linger in the body for 2 whole months. During that time, the speed of absorbing spiritual energy multiplies several times over. Inside the sect, this pill was extremely rare. A disciple's whole life, only 2 chances to get it. The first, upon advancing to a black-robe disciple, 1 pill. The second, upon advancing to purple robe, 2 pills. No wonder everyone here was bidding like mad. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my video, please leave a comment, give it a like, and share it with others. Your support gives me even more motivation.